He thought these people had a high safety factor and wouldn't suspect him, even if they did. It would be easy for him to get rid of them when Yang Xinhai reached the edge of the market. His eyes were darting around. He saw an old woman in her 60s walking shakily towards him. He stepped forward and struck up a conversation. "Auntie, do you want to buy mung beans?" "No." Yang Xinhai was determined to sell to this old woman. He put the mung bean bag on the ground and said, "Auntie, take a look." Only then did he understand why the saying "a rabbit doesn't eat the grass" near its burrow existed. They were afraid of causing trouble for themselves and their families. So Yang Xinhai started committing crimes around Xinyang. Although Xinyang was more than 100 kilometers away from Yang Xinhai's hometown, the situation in the rural areas here was almost the same as that. In his hometown, it was easy for Yang Xinhai, who was familiar with rural conditions, to succeed in theft. After being released from prison 5 years later, he became even worse after Yang Xinhai sent a telegram to his father in Chengdu. He played a prank on his father again. He didn't wait in Chengdu for his father to pick him up instead. He left Chengdu on the morning before his father arrived. He boarded a southbound train and missed his father again from then on. Yang Xinhai never stepped into his home again. What could he do, even if he went home? Wouldn't he just be doing hard and stupid work all day, being looked down upon and bullied? 2 years ago, at this very railway station, his father wanted to take him home, but he didn't want to go with him now. How could he go back alone? What would his family think of him? Besides, after receiving his telegram, his father went to Chengdu to pick him up in person. He didn't wait for his father to go home, while wantonly tearing the woman's clothes. Yang Xinhai impatiently put his stinky tongue towards the woman's mouth, trying to force a kiss on her, taking this opportunity. The woman bit Yang Xinhai hard on the face. Yang Xinhai was in great pain and couldn't help but loosen his grip on the woman. Taking advantage of this moment, the woman broke free from Yang Xinhai's claws and ran away for her life, and immediately reported the incident to the police. He grew up in the countryside and was very familiar with the living environment and habits of rural people. He knew that rural houses were scattered and people had poor awareness of prevention. Many families didn't even have courtyard walls, even if some did. They were mostly made of mud, low and short, easy to climb over with one step. Most rural houses only had a wooden door with a horizontal bolt behind it. A knife could be used to slide the bolt open, and then one could break in easily. The old woman was really tempted and immediately took out 15 yuan and gave it to him. Yang Xinhai took the money and was in a hurry to leave, not even caring about the bag this made. The old woman suspicious, she shouted after him, "Young man, what's the rush? Did you steal these mung beans?" Yang Xinhai quickly turned around, took out another 5 yuan, and gave it to the old woman. "Auntie, if you think you're at a loss, I'll give you back 5 more yuan, but you can't talk nonsense like that." His evil footprints reached most parts of China, including Hubei, Hunan, Jiangxi, Yunnan, Guizhou, Shandong, Anhui, Guangdong, and Guangxi, after Yang Xinhai was successively arrested and sent to a labor camp for theft in Shan, Shijiazhuang, and Guangzhou. He didn't dare to act easily in other cities. He thought that urban people were highly vigilant and well guarded. Every household had iron gates and iron windows, making it difficult to start his criminal acts. "This is good stuff and it's cheap. I have an urgent matter at home and need the money. Please do me a favor and buy it." The old woman casually asked, "How much is it per catty?" Seeing that the old woman was interested, Yang Xinhai further coaxed her, "Don't ask about the price per catty, I just weighed it. There are exactly 30 catties of mung beans. Just give me 15 yuan at that time." The market price of mung beans was about 1 yuan per kata. Yang Xinhai's asking price was half of the market price. He was afraid that such families were connected to urban people, maybe because he grew up in a poor family. He was very self-abased and never dared to confront urban people. A police officer involved in the case later evaluated Yang Xinhai like this. After wandering around for a while, Yang Xinhai felt that it was hard to survive in the city. So he thought about going back to his hometown in Hunan. So he boarded a train back home, but after getting out of Xinyang railway station, he changed his mind. By this time, Yang Xinhai, who had been sent to a labor camp twice, already had considerable anti-investigation ability. He picked up all the things that might be left at the scene. He swept away the traces on the ground with a branch, then quickly left the scene and took the branch used for cleaning the scene to a place he thought was safe and threw it away. Later, Yang Xinhai was arrested for theft. However, this life of getting something for nothing also made him very scared one night. Yang Xinhai stole about 30 catties of mung beans and carried them to the market to sell at dawn. Afraid of being recognized by the mung bean bag and being caught red-handed, he didn't dare to sell them in the grain market, so he walked around looking for buyers. He didn't dare to look for young men, but specifically targeted the elderly or women. As the woman got closer, Yang Xinhai's breathing became rapid, and his eyes were almost popping out when the woman walked up to him. He suddenly jumped up and hugged the woman's neck from behind. The woman was walking and never expected such a sudden attack. She struggled desperately and shouted for help, but in this desolate place, her cries for help were in vain. The woman was pressed under Yang Xinhai. Since Yang Xinhai chose to make a living through theft and robbery, he thought it was better not to go back to his hometown. There were too many people who knew him there, and his crimes were easy to expose even if he wasn't caught on the spot. The police could easily find him through clues besides. There was no secret that could be kept forever. Sooner or later, his parents and siblings would find out about his thefts and stop him. How could he face his father and family and explain himself? After much thought, Yang Xinhai decided not to go back to his hometown. This time when Yang Xinhai returned to the countryside, he didn't come back to work hard in his hometown and earn a living with his own hands. By this time, he had lost all interest in work. He targeted the vast rural area as a place for his criminal activities, looking for a way to make a living through theft and robbery. Then he walked away without looking back. The old woman stood there, stunned for a long time. By the time she came to her senses, Yang Xinhai had long disappeared. This experience made Yang Xinhai very scared. After that, he never dared to sell stolen goods in the market again during his time in Xinyang. Yang Xinhai lived on roaming theft in the summer of 1995. Summer was a peak season for sexual assault cases in rural areas. By this time, Yang Xinhai was a 27-year-old young man. Moreover, the 110 emergency response in cities was fast. Even if he succeeded in committing a crime, it would be hard for him to escape once caught. He would have to spend another year or two in prison. Not only would his personal freedom be restricted, but it would also be very embarrassing if his hometown people found out in subsequent crimes. He usually didn't choose wealthy families sometimes. Even after scouting a place and finding such a family, he would give up. His excessive energy and strong desires were growing with his age. One day, Yang Xinhai was walking aimlessly, looking for a target to commit a crime without realizing it. He came to Zhengang County when he reached a mountain depression. He saw a young woman coming not far ahead. His eyes lit up immediately, and a wicked desire welled up in him. He quietly looked around. There was no one on the road in front or behind. He just sat down by the roadside, waiting for the woman to come.